NFPradio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It is Relationship Monday. Our topic for today is fraud or flawed. We're talking about the Derrick Jaxn cheating confession. We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from Roman with the Drive at 5. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. The quote of the day is, cheating has become so normalized in society that people act like loyalty is something to be proud of when it should be the standard. We are grateful for our sponsors. We have Gloria Dotson with Mary Kay, Paula Kelly with Allstate, and also Pastor Michael Richardson with Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. Joining me today, co-hosting is none other than cancer activist, the founder of the Gal Foundation, and motivational speaker, ReShell Gilmore. Hello, ReShell.
Hey, Lady ReShell.
How are you?
I'm finding yourself.
Awesome.
Relationship Mondays. You know, I'm always excited.
I'm so excited, especially about this topic today. Again, we're talking about Derrick Jaxn, who is a relationship guru, and he did a video with his wife Monday the 22nd talking about cheating. He confessed that he had multiple relationships outside of his marriage. So we're going to talk about that today. Fraud or flawed? Are you ready?
I'm ready. This is going to be interesting.
Very interesting. So again, I said he is a relationship guru. He is a YouTuber, a self-love ambassador. He also promotes healthy relationships where he stresses holding men accountable for their action. So he decided, because some of I don't want to say fans, but some people were threatening to come out with information about him cheating. So he decided to try to take matters and do damage control. And him and his wife did a video. And everybody have been making memes about this video because in the video, the wife looked like she was checked out. She looked like she didn't want to be there. Everybody was talking about, they said she had a bonnet on her head, but it was actually a hat. But they was talking about just her presence in the video and how he looked well put together, but she looked like she was forced to do the video. And everybody, a lot of women do listen to Derrick Jaxn because, again, he's a relationship expert. So whenever you have issues with your man, what do women do? They go and look up one of his videos. So, ReShell, have you listened or have you even saw the video with Derrick Jaxn and his wife?
I did. Now, I've seen the video, but I didn't see the video.
What?
And what I mean by that, I saw it, I guess, the memes floating on Facebook. And I'm like, why they keep posting this thing on Facebook? Like, who is this and why is she looking like that? But I never even heard of Derrick Jaxn until, I guess, a couple days ago, until you said, hey, we're going to talk about him.
Yes. So
my question is, what makes him a relationship expert? Because if that's the case, they might as well just tune into Relationship Mondays with Lady ReShell and ReShell, because we might as well take the status of being experts because we've been through it all and they know us.
Well, I don't want to be an expert. I just have relationship experience. But I guess what makes him an expert is that he actually, when people start coming to you and asking you questions, and they're asking him to put out videos about this, videos about that, so they want to hear his opinion. So when the people are, I guess, requesting you and, seeking you out for advice, and you have 12 years in the game, that kind of makes you an expert. And he's done, he has 12 books out. He has done multiple seminars with other relationship gurus. So, he does have that title. He has 1.3 million followers on Instagram. He has 750,000 on YouTube. So, and if you go to his website, you will see that most of his books are sold out.
I'm just awe at how do people really need the advice? I mean, for me, and again, views and opinions of Warriors Talk is of mine and mine alone here. But do they really need this? But people know what they're supposed to do when you enter in a relationship. I don't need to talk and ask like, hey, what do I do here? What do I do here? I think we're well seasoned enough that we've been around the block enough times to know what's to be done and what's not supposed to be done when it comes to relationships. So I'm just like, Flawed, you know what? I'm going to write a couple relationship books. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to get me 1.3 million followers and be at the Essence Festival and all those different things and let it go. Yes, he's right. You know, back in the day on, I think it was A Different World, there was an episode with this guy, I think his name was Shazad or something, and the woman was going crazy because he was saying all the right stuff, but somebody blew his cover. So do we really trust these people and what they say? Yeah, they could be saying the right things for the moment or at the time, but eventually they can't keep that character going all, you know, for as long as people think. And it begins to show and it breaks through. And I think that's what happened to him. He couldn't, you know he did wrong and multiple. So there's no excuse. Multiple relationships that he had outside of his wife? Oh, yeah.
I think that we should stop putting people on a pedestal. I don't think Derrick ever said that he was an expert in that. I think when he first came on the scene, he basically came on talking about the issues and the troubles that he had in his relationship. It started off as a blog back in 2012. So he was talking about with the woman he's with now, his wife that he's with now, he was talking about issues that they had in their relationship, and he was just doing a blog talking about the issues. And as he continued to talk about the issues, women started asking for his advice, and of course he started giving it. So that's really how it all started.
So, you know, the other one who I don't like, even though we're not talking about him tonight, the Tony Gaskin.
Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. Because yes, I love Tony Gaskin, so don't do that. They're not, no. Oh no. We won't go there. We won't go there. We won't go there.
You're going to stand up
because this is my opinion. I think men don't like other men who so-called are telling the game. Like a lot of them didn't like Steve Harvey. They didn't like his book. They felt like he was giving women the game. You're trying to give women the power so that the men who are trying to run game won't be able to do that. Because now women have some type of information that they can use. So when you bring that bull at them, they're going to be like, nope. And they're going to know how to respond. So the men who are trying to run game don't like it.
Let me rephrase what I've said. It's not that I don't like him. There's things that I disagree with about him and things that he said in the past.
Okay. Oh yeah, we're not talking about Tony Gaskins today. All right, so let's just stay with Derrick, because Tony is a whole nother show. He's a whole different show.
Oh no.
He's a whole nother show.
But now back to this Derrick guy.
Yes.
So he wrote a couple books. He got his Instagram followers. He probably looked at it as, hey, you know what? Everybody's coming to me for advice. Shoot, I give advice on a daily basis. I ain't write no books. I don't got a 1.3 followers. Does that make me an expert? I guess not, because I didn't do those things.
I feel like right now with social media, there's a lot of people on social media who don't have the background or even the education, but they're out there doing it. It may be a passion, it may be a hobby, it may even be their calling, but they're out there doing it. So there's an audience for that person. Like there's an audience for Warriors Talk. There's an audience for a Derrick Jaxn. People are flocking to him because they want to hear what he has to say.
I don't think they're going to flock anymore.
He has gained. No, he has gained more followers since this has happened.
Oh, it was a publicity stunt.
I don't think anybody would put themselves out there like this. Now I know he has this book that he just came out with in February. It talks about heal together and without hurting each other. So in this book, it talks about the affairs that he had and how him and his wife have decided to heal together. So supposedly everything happened over a year ago when he was messing with these. It's supposed to be, so far only 3 women have come out. So I don't know how many others are going to come out, but 3 women have come out so far. And so in this book, he talked about the different affairs. He talked about how him and his wife decided to, I guess, stick it out and put God in the center of their relationship so they're able to forgive each other.
It still sounds fishy to me.
What's fishy about it?
If you say that he's he's healing, him and his wife is healing, and she forgives him, then who am I to say that, nah, he's wrong? Or, they're turning the page. They're trying to make it right. He's come out. He's trying to correct himself and get back on that right path of being a righteous, good brother, because black men don't cheat. And he's just expressing his views and thoughts that, hey, this is where we're at, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm going through. So get ready for another follow-up book to come out soon after all of this.
Well, that is the book, Heal Together. That's the book about the cheating.
Oh, so he put the book out before the
Right.
confessions on
It happened a year ago. So he is just now, the book just came out in February. And I think the reason why it may have come out so soon was because somebody else was trying to tell the story before it came out.
Somebody was trying to beat him to the punch.
So now that the story is out, I've heard that a lot of women were upset because they was like, oh, he never posts his wife on his social media. Now he has her on the cover of that book, and he started posting her on the social media. So some women was getting upset. So it's like, okay, let's call him out on what he's been doing, because he never mentioned his wife. He never shows his wife. And he has that right. I mean, if he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to.
I was about to say, did he have to show his wife?
No,
no. Because likely he showed. I mean, a lot of relationships, once they see who your wife is, they in the inbox. Hey, Derrick was at the club, he was doing this, and they know what she looked like, and now she can be approached. I mean, social media doesn't make your relationship. It doesn't make you break you. People wouldn't even know who I'm dating or who I'm dealing with, because I don't put my business on social media like that for people to talk, criticize, and not that I care, but just the simple fact that people they're vindictive. They see you being happy, they may not want you to be happy. So I don't broadcast what I have going on.
And maybe because he felt that people were going to try to tear the wife down. Women, we can be really vindictive. We can be very hateful. And they probably would, they would have saw her and was like, oh, he's with her? Look how she look. And they would have just picked her apart like they're doing right now. Like a lot of women are picking this woman apart. And so I can understand why he wouldn't want to show her.
Yeah, but you probably got women or men in the inbox like, girl, I don't see how you did it. You need to leave. That chit chatter start going into their ear because they only seeing one side and don't know what's going on, and you don't want that type of energy. It's bad enough of what's happening in your life and everything, and then to have people add fuel to the fire, you don't want that. You do not want that smoke. Mm-mm.
Right. And she said her inbox was blowing up. If you're just tuning in to Warriors Talk, we're live on Intellectual Radio. I have Rizal Gilmore on the line, a.k.a. Biz. And we're talking about the Derrick Jaxn cheating confession that took place Monday the 22nd, where he came out with a video with his wife, and he confessed to having multiple affairs. So we're talking about fraud or flawed. And I know a lot of people had a lot of different opinions about this. I saw a lot of different videos to where people were reenacting the actual video that him and his wife did. I mean, it's going to be, until the next scandal comes out, this is going to be the hot topic for right now.
Wow. So this is what. So people are more concerned with other people's lives and what they got going on than tuning in and trying to do something positive instead of break somebody else down even further.
Right. And I think it's because he was the guru, people gave him that title because he was the guru, and a lot of women actually listened to him, and a lot of men actually did not like Derrick because he would tell the women, don't settle. He would tell the women, if a man is doing this or XYZ, leave. If a man is cheating, you leave. If a man is treating you this way, he's letting you know he doesn't want you. So they're looking at, a lot of men were looking at him like, okay, he's giving our women this information. Now we're having issues with our women all because of what he's saying. And now he is that person, he was doing these activities where he was telling the women not to settle, but his wife is still there. She's like, I've forgiven him. I'm not going anywhere. We had, they've been to counseling. Derrick's in counseling, and, I'm okay. She even said she forgave the women.
Nah. See, I need her to read the book and keep that same energy. We'll need to do as I say. If Derrick said to leave because he had the whole Derrick Nation follow him, then his wife needs to leave. He needs to feel the same thing that he was putting out. And
she did leave. She left. She said she was gone for the majority of 2020. She was not there. She was gone.
Enough time.
It may be for them. I mean, we cannot say that she should leave because that's totally up to them. That's totally up to the two of them.
Said, if a man cheated, that she should leave.
But if you're a woman,
it's good for everybody else and not good for him.
But if you're a woman who took that advice, then, and there are some situations where women should leave. We know that. There are some situations where women are getting played and they should leave. And then there are some situations to where, you can work it out. You both can go to counseling and work it out. So maybe his situation is that situation to where he can work it out with his wife and she's willing to stay.
So my question is, if he's the guru, who counsels the counselors?
We don't know.
When he needs help, because obviously he needs help right now.
We don't know who's counseling him, but she did say that he was getting godly counsel. So we do know that he's getting counsel.
Yeah,
we can't get mad at his process. If this is their process of healing, then we cannot judge their process. We cannot tell this lady to leave her husband. She has 2 kids. If he's not beating on her and she's able to forgive him for his infidelities and they have worked it out, then let them stay together.
Yeah, by all means, because I'm a stickler when it comes to black love. I love seeing couples happy and in love, and even couples that's not working out. I always try to say, what is it that y'all can do to try to make it work or to fix things? So I'm big on that. So, what they're doing is working for them. I'm all for it. Yes, stay together. We need more black couples to stay together and work things out and fix it and not break up and find, it's easier to find something new than to fix what's broken. Right. Nobody wants to start all over. I know I never want to start all over again, but sometimes it happens. But, if they're fixing, they're working it out, hey, by all means.
Right.
I just don't want them running out there, talking the smack, because now we got to look at him with the eyebrow raised and from a different perspective, because, he said some things that he didn't live by. He wasn't a practitioner in what he was preaching.
But just because he didn't live by those things doesn't mean that what he was saying was not true.
That's true. I can agree with you on that. But
yes.
My thing is, don't stay him if you ain't going to live by him.
Is he the first person that has said?
You say for death do his part.
Right.
Through sickness and health and to honor and cherish. It's already he broke what he said that he promised, what he said that he wasn't going to do. So
and he wouldn't be the first person. He wouldn't be the first person who has done these things.
You wouldn't. There's plenty of celebrities, there's plenty of couples, there's plenty of unknowns that this happened to. Look at Halle Berry, she was rated the most beautiful woman in the world at one point, and she got cheated on. I mean, we don't know what this could be something with her. I don't know.
No,
does
but
it call for her to get cheated on?
What does she have to do with somebody
not.
else's actions? That's somebody else's choice that they made to do.
We are talking about Eric Benet, right?
Whoever.
That she was married. She was married to Eric Benet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, that was his choice to cheat. She didn't put a gun up to his head to make him cheat. People cheat for people have their own reasons as to what they do, and sometimes it has nothing to do with the other person.
That's true. Sometimes they have their own issues and demons that they need to deal with. But as I say, I mean, for me as a man, I don't wake up every day and say, you know what? Oh, stretch up a morning yawn, and today is a good day to cheat. Oh, let me go out here and see if I can find, some pootie tang or somewhere. I don't wake up like that. It has to be a serious reason or something that I feel as though that's missing. And even with the part that's missing, I need to figure out what it is within me that I'm searching for. Why can't I get that from that person who I've committed to or said, hey, this is what I need from you, this is what I want, so forth and so forth. Why do I have to look at this other person as she's the best thing? And that's where we make the mistake, because we go out looking for something better, not knowing that we've already got something that's excellent at home. We just got to water that grass. We just got to, we just got to nourish that thing and grow it up.
Yeah, I totally agree. The grass is not always green on the other side. And sometimes we don't communicate with our person what we're missing. What is it that we're missing in this relationship? We don't let that person know because we're so busy telling everybody else, and that person is walking around thinking everything is fine, and it's not. So, we don't know if they had conversations to say, this is what I'm missing in the relationship. And the other person's like, okay, I'm going to try. And if I can, I can. If I can't. Sometimes we have these unrealistic expectations of us wanting people to feel things for us. And, and some people can't.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to talk to me and not talk about me to people so I can understand. Because, one thing I said different that I'm going to do in my next relationship, that we're going to have date night, once a week. And on date night, we're going to talk about anything that happened during the week that may have offended you or that may have made you happy or whatever the case. Because when we have that argument or we have that offense happen, I don't need about 6, 7 darts coming at me that had nothing to do with the first thing what we was being argumentative about in the first place. I don't need all these daggers being thrown that you've now reached the boiling point with and you let me have it. No, you need to release that stress. And we know stress is definitely, it could be a killer. Stress, all that buildup and everything that you holding within, those are things that cause cancer, cause Alzheimer's, all of that stuff. So you need to communicate and let that stuff out, let it go.
I totally agree. Hey, Shirley. Shanera says, I used to beg them and ask them, what can she do to make it right? And if you're doing that and that person is not communicating that with you, 9 times out of 10, they don't even know. They don't even know. And that's the right thing to do, is to ask somebody, what can you do? But if they're not communicating.
But I don't know about the part of begging, because one, if you got to beg your partner and you got to pull teeth and all that to get it out of them, you with the wrong partner. Relationships aren't that hard. People is just difficult.
And people don't always communicate what it is they want. That's the thing. Because they don't know.
Well, a lot of people don't know what they want. But, all this time that people spend, quote unquote, finding themselves, they should at least get the idea of knowing of what they don't want.
Yeah, when the relationship is over, we tend to know what it is that we don't want.
Well, I would almost say that it's too late then, but, you take those broken pieces and it's a new beginning to start new, start fresh, and you get a second chance to make it better.
That's
You
true.
get a do-over. Maybe not with that person, but you get to do it over with somebody and do it right. And actually, is there really a right or wrong way to do it?
I think we try to do the same thing with the same person. Like when you get with somebody new, you have to learn that person and learn what it is that they want, what they like, by asking questions, by having conversations. So if you with somebody, you learn how to love them. Not how you want to be loved, but learn how to love them. And they should be trying to learn how to love you.
Okay, so question, because I had this little quick snippet conversation the other day. So somebody said that they wanted to do things the right way. They wanted to get married, have a child, and then live like happily ever after. But I said, it's not a guarantee that that'll happen. You think that's the right way. You could get married, have a child, and think happily ever after, but how many Tyler Perry movies that we've seen where they get married, they have a child, and then total opposite of what you married is no longer there. Now you living with the enemy, and it's going left. And he could be doing all this cheating, or he could be straight abusing you, or whatever the case. It's a risk. Either way you look at, to me, and again, views and opinions, to me, it's a risk. Either way.
Yeah, I mean, you take a risk when you decide to love someone. So take that risk. Shanera says, especially if you're married. I think she was talking about when communicating and asking them what they want. She goes, we're going to love school. We all are. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the Derrick Jaxn situation where the question is he a fraud or is he just flawed? He did a video about cheating with multiple women with his wife sitting right by his side. And a lot of people have been talking about this video, making memes about the video, and encouraging her to leave him and to take him for all of the money that he has. And some people were saying that, like, if she were to leave him, what are the chances of her finding another high-value man making 6 figures with 2 kids as his ex?
What is the chances of finding a man that's going to love her, correctly again? Because she's going to be afraid. She's going to be very cautious for whatever the next relationship or whatever that she gets into, because she's going to be having some flashbacks like, you know what? He used to do that. And she's going to be looking for all the red flags, and that's not going to be cool.
Okay, this is just my opinion. I think she would be better off staying with him if they both did get the counseling. And like she said, she saw a change in him, and it wasn't until she saw the change that she came back. Now, if he just changed just to, get her back, eventually that it'll come out. He has a lot to lose. If he, and this is why he's probably doing damage control, because he knows he has a lot to lose if she gets the divorce. She has 2 kids. He has 12 books. He has a YouTube going on. I'm sure he has TikTok, like all of these other streams of income that she can just say, okay, I want that, I want that, I want that. So he knows that. So he's going to do everything that he can to stay married.
Well, Lady ReShell, in his defense, I can say, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
So what is that saying about him? He's right. She's right.
No, well, we said earlier in the show that just because he did what he did doesn't mean that he wasn't telling the truth, and that was a true statement.
So,
like I said, I hope they can work it. I hope they can work it out and stay together. He's probably now coaching her. Well, he's talking to her right now. Like, look, we got this big house. We got all this. You want to lose all of that? Look, let's try to fix this. My bad. I'm sorry. Give me another chance. I swear, I won't do it again. But come on, do it again. You did it. We got 3 women that's coming out, and God knows who else is left to come.
Right.
3's a crowd. That's a lot.
Right. So in the video, he said that he told her about every woman that I guess he had contact with, that he slept with. So she knows everything, so that, you know, I guess nothing else would come up and you know, gut punch her. So she says, you know, I forgive him, and we have moved past this point. We have moved on. So they're coming out right now, but they're saying that they have already moved on. They have already got the counseling. So they're just letting, I guess, you know, he had why he had her in the video. I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody called me and it stopped the video. So I don't know why he just didn't do the video by himself, why he actually had her in the video. You know, especially in the video looking like she was looking. Now, if that's the way she looked, then who cares? You know, who cares? You know, I'm not going to judge her on how she was looking. But I think he probably should have did the video by himself and explain what was going on. But I think he wanted to show a united front, so he had her in the video with him.
No. Well, yes, but I think the appearance of how she was looking, and like I said, I didn't sit and watch the video. I just seen the memes, so I just seen little clips of pictures, you know, still pictures of how she looked, and I'm sorry, she looked very unhappy. She looked like she was being coached, or she was being told what to do, like sit here, and she's just, you know, and it did look like a bonnet, whether it was a hat or not. And I think appearance is everything, especially you about to do this big whole live thing with everybody who's going to be criticizing and talking about you and this and that. At least put your best foot forward.
Yeah, I think she probably was like, she probably was tired of maybe, you know, hearing about it, especially if they said they had moved past it. And now I got to do this video and really let everybody know what was going on. Shirley said he should have done the video by himself because it did not look like a united front. It didn't look united. You know, when I saw him holding her hand like that, I was like, he gonna cut off her circulation, because he was holding her hand so tight. I felt really nervous for her, because I'm like, okay, if she didn't do this video, you know, we don't know what would happen. But I think he was holding her hand. Maybe she was gonna get up. I don't know, but he was holding her hand really tight. So
yeah, she probably wanted to believe. Wanted to believe because she probably felt really embarrassed.
Oh, Shirley says she looked like a mentally abused person. She probably is. That's why she look like she was checked out. She looked like how women look when we checked out. We just like.
She looked like.
I don't care what happened. You know, I don't care. We have this look on our face like, I'm not really here, but I'm here. And we all know that we check out mentally first, then we check out physically. So she probably is checked out, but she's just trying to hold on to her marriage. She probably is. And
why? If you already checked out, then the marriage is already over.
Not necessarily. I can check out mentally because I'm tired of everything that's going on. I can have a break from this mentally. And then
but if she's already checked out and she's going to stay in the marriage, then she's just going along just to get along. She's not fully there. She's not there anymore. Her cup is ran dry, and it's up to him to try to fill it back up, but how long is that going to take?
How you going to say the woman cup is ran dry?
Her cup is dry. I'm sorry. She looked horrible on the video.
That lady you would look that way too if your wife cheated on you 3 times and now you have to do this video, because before everybody didn't know everything that was going on. So now I got to do this video letting everybody know, yep, this man cheated on me 3 times, possibly with more than 3 people, and I'm still here. I'm sitting right here by his side. Even though he did all this stuff, I'm right here. Like, who wants to do that video? Nobody. It's like I'm agreeing to what you did. Like I'm in agreement to what you did. No. Who wants to do that?
Then you're right. She shouldn't have did the video.
Women, let me tell you something about women. Women will try to do, and there may be some men, but I can only speak for women. We would try to save our marriage, especially when you have kids. You would try to do what you need to do to save their marriage, because one, we don't want our kids to grow up in 2 separate homes, because we know once we get that divorce, it's just not going to be the same. So you're going to try to do damage control, and you're going to try to say, okay, what can we do to fix this? Can I get past you cheating on me? And if I can get past this, then okay, let's work this out. Should I leave this marriage because this man is flawed? That's a flaw that he has. Is that worth me breaking up my so-called happy home? And I said so-called happy home.
But do women really get over it? No, because the first thing they look at and they look at you, they tell you, I'll forgive, but I won't forget.
Why should you forget? Who's gonna forget it? It happened.
Exactly.
You don't have to forget it. I don't have to forget it, but I can forgive you. I can say, yes, I forgive you. Am I gonna forget it? No. Unless you erase it out of my memory bank, I'm not gonna forget it. It's gonna be there. But you can choose to move on past it. And like I guess with the book, he's saying they healing together. And instead of continuing to hurt each other, they've decided to heal together.
I keep trying to look. It ain't something right. Something is spoiled in the milk. I'm trying to tell you.
Why is it something spoiled when he's coming out telling you? Why? Why? Watch the video. Watch the video. In the video, he's taking accountability for what he did. He's not blaming anybody. He's not saying, oh, my father wasn't there. Oh, I had a traumatic experience. No. He said he made some decisions that caused his marriage to be in a position that it was. He didn't blame anybody. Shirley said he appeared to be a habitual cheater, is more than too much for a married man. My hope is that I can't even see the rest, Shirley. My hope is that she leaves or gets some very much needed help, him as well. I hope that they both get the help, but it's up to them if they want to leave the marriage. It's totally up to them.
Like I said, I hope they work it out and stay together, but it's really going to be hard.
Marriage is hard. Marriage is work, and then you add infidelity into it. That it's even harder. Yeah. Some people have infidelity and they come back even stronger. They said, bam, we even closer than what we were. Which is, that's what they say.
That's what they say.
Well, we don't know that. We can't judge it because we don't know.
We know saying of the word and doing of the word. It's two different things.
You don't know. You don't know what God can, if God steps in and he heals help both of you guys to heal. You don't know if that couple can be stronger. We don't know. You don't know unless you're in that situation. So we can't judge. We're on the outside looking in. We don't know what's going on.
We don't. But like you said, either God is fixing them so they can come back stronger, or God was trying to tear it apart because they didn't need each other.
Exactly. So do we normalize cheating? Is cheating normalized? Are we okay with people just cheating and we like, oh, okay, they just cheated, That's what people do.
I think cheating, I think it deals, for me, it deals with the age range of where you're at. Maybe younger, a younger me would have, who really haven't got out there and explored or thought he'd find something better than what I had. Yeah, younger me would have probably tried to, fill his oats. But older me is more laid back and like, look, this is what I need. This is what I want. I'm settled now, and God's been saving me for the right one. And, blah, 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 blah. So, now I'm good. I can be solid. There's no need for me to cheat. I'm going to take what I have, and I'm going to nourish it, water it, treasure it, hold it, keep it, all those things.
Shirley,
so there's no need for me to cheat.
Shirley says, amen, it will take a move of God, which is one reason biblically you can divorce your spouse. If they cheat on you, the Bible says you can get out of there. You don't have to stay. If you stay, it's a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah, it's a decision.
It's a decision.
It's
a decision. Does that make because somebody cheat on you, does that make them a bad person? Like, does that make them just the worst person in the world because they cheated on you? They made a mistake. It was a lapse in judgment.
He cheated multiple times.
It's a choice. Does that make that person the worst person in the world? Does that make them a bad person because they cheated? Because they have that flaw. You know, some people may steal, some people may lie, some people, who knows? Everybody has their own sins that they commit, and one sin is not worse than the other.
Yeah, but now you're making that woman into an insecure woman. You're making her into an insecure. She don't trust you. You now turn that woman to a whole lot of different
You
things.
speaking for that woman. She didn't say that. She didn't say all of that. You speaking for her. She didn't say all of that. She did not say that.
That was for the camera.
Right. You don't know what they've been together since college. So you don't know, what they have talked about. You don't know what this has really done to and for them. So we can't say, oh, this has made her really insecure. Like, I went and looked at her Instagram page, and I heard her talking, and I heard, just looking at her speaking, and she was quoting a lot of scriptures. And, she was talking about how, when this stuff was happening, she even started to dislike her daughter because her daughter was the same skin complexion as the dad. Like, she was going through a lot. She talked about, her father, how, her father left and he had a whole nother family. And, before she could really rectify things with him, he ended up passing. So, she had things going on in her background that maybe already set her up to be insecure or whatever. We always talk about daddy issues.
Who's to say that he didn't do this beforehand? These are just the ones that we know that he wrote about. So she could have been trying to perform an exorcism and get this demon up out of here or something. We don't know.
Well, Shirley says no, just makes them human. To make mistakes 3 times, though, is a big issue when we're talking about marriage. I would say talk to somebody who's been married for about 50 years and ask them about all of the mistakes that has happened in that marriage. And what has gotten them through. So, we're always so quick to just be like, oh, I'm out of here, I'm gone, we're so quick to do that. We're so quick to tell people to leave. We're so quick to, we're so quick to do that because we're the type of culture that we don't want to work hard for nothing.
Yeah, because nobody wants to put in the work. They don't want it because work requires effort. And nobody want to put forth effort to have things work.
So if she has forgiven him and she says they has moved forward and she says by the grace of God and his mercy that they're still together and they're putting this behind them, then I think people should just let them work out what they need to work out.
Yes, but people are judgmental. And I would rather be in the hands of God than in the hands of people because people are going to say what they want to say about them. They're probably still in her inbox to this day hollering, girl, I don't see how you can do it. Ain't no way that I'll be there. You need to leave. And blah, blah, blah. If he did it once, always a cheater. And they tearing D down right now.
I know. So what does this mean for black women? Black women who listen to him, who follow him, who takes his advice. What are you going to do now?
You're going to tune in to Warriors Talk to listen to Lady ReShell on Riz the Biz as we broadcasted live on Mondays, on Relationship Mondays. That's all.
No, I'm not perfect. I've cheated and I've gotten cheated on. Does it make me a bad person? No. I just made that judgment. It wasn't a good judgment at the time. Maybe at the time I felt it was when I was doing it.
Yeah, it felt good at the moment, but now that we're older and we look back, that's why I said it's about the age, the aging, the maturity, for me and where we stand. Because things that was cool with now, we now look back like, man, what was I thinking? And not just relationships. I'm just talking about life overall, period.
So is cheating a condition that comes along with dealing with a high value man? If you have a high value man, he's making a certain amount, he has, a certain amount of following. Should I just assume that this is part of that I'm going to get cheated on if I'm with this high value man?
Well, no, not necessarily. But you have to understand that a man that's in the spotlight like himself, there are women that's going to be throwing themselves. There's going to be women that's in the DM and trying to holler and see, because they want what you have. They see what it is that you have, and they need that in their life to try to change their circumstances. Like, oh yeah, he's out there, he's making money, he's doing this. So it's always going to be a constant struggle. So you always have to stay on your A game. But I always say the same way which y'all started in the beginning of the relationship, if you do those things, then the relationship will last.
Mylea said, thank you for sharing your wisdom. It can be easy to judge their situation, but it's their choice to stay together. It is their choice. Shirley said, no excuse, has to be bigger than that. I'm sorry, what did she say? No excuse, she has to be bigger than that. I agree with you, Shirley, but it's still her choice. It's her choice if she wants to leave, and if it's her choice if she wants to stay.
See, Shirley ready to get up there.
Shirley like, I'm out of there. I'm out. You're not going to be cheating on me. 3 times, how many times? How many other women are going to be coming up? And for some people, when they get cheated on, they out of there. And they gone. And she said he has to.
Some are one and done. You got some now, that may last a time, like, oh, here's another one. Then there could be another longer list. There could be 3 more next week. We don't know. And
I look at them, but I look at the women that also knew he was married. They knew he was married. And one lady said, oh, he was separated. He was still married. He was separated, going through a divorce. He was still married. And yet they still slept with him. So I'm not just going to blame him. I'm going to blame the women too.
So are you saying during a separation that you shouldn't be sleeping with nobody?
I'm saying that if you are still married, allow that person to, if they're legally separated by court, legally separated. If they just say, I'm separated, allow that person to go ahead and go through the divorce. Once they're done with the divorce, then date them. Shirley said, no, he has to be bigger than his status and act responsible. I totally agree. If you're going to be this relationship guru and you're going to be giving information out to individuals to carry yourself in a certain way, that you should uphold that same standard. But I also know that he's a man and that he's human and that he's flawed, and that we should not be putting people on a pedestal, and we should not be we should be trusting our own intuition, instead of running to some relationship guru, and stop going to other people for advice all the time. They make mistakes just like we do. We're not perfect, and neither are they. It's just that our stuff is not highlighted like theirs are. His stuff is highlighted because he's out, he's out in that arena. The stuff that we do is not highlighted. People may look at us the same way and be like, oh, wow, she's a bad person. But because my stuff is not highlighted, I'm not being looked at in that way. So what's done in the dark would eventually come to the light. So you just have to make sure that you're making the right decisions that's not going to hurt yourself and nobody else. And when you do, you make right on that decision. You apologize. And the only person that you need forgiveness from is that person. And God, that's it. So instead of running to men, instead of running to people, when your situation, run to God. And Shirley said he has to know when he is being, and that's true, Shirley. He has to know when he's being hit on. He needs to move around and move from that conversation. And I totally agree. I totally agree with that. I totally agree. That the only time somebody can really enter into their relationship is if he or she lets somebody in. So once you let somebody in, then that person is at fault. So I totally agree with you, Shirley.
So he ain't got caught up in some BS, and now he's trying to tell him, like, this is how you fix it. You sit down, you heal, you pray, and you work through it.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
No, I'm not saying nothing wrong with that, but I'm just trying to put it out there for everybody to understand.
It does, Shirley.
This is where we're at.
It takes 2 to tango. You cannot tango by yourself. All right, you know what? This show was not meant to bash Derrick. I actually like Derrick and the information that he was giving out. So this is not meant to bash him or any other man that's giving out information as it relates to relationship. If you have a situation to where, it's your situation and you're giving people, advice or how you got through the situation, it's up to you to accept that information and use it in your life. You don't have to. You don't have to buy his books. You don't have to, watch his YouTube channel. You don't have to do any of that. It's totally up to you. So this show is not meant to bash him or anybody else. I pray that him and his wife, that they get through this situation and that God is truly in the center. And wherever he wants them to be is within his will for them to be there. So, okay, Rizal, you got 30 seconds for your words of wisdom.
Man, always 30 seconds, word of wisdom. When it comes to relationships, have a relationship with God and not religion.
Yes, I love that. Shirley, I appreciate your feedback, and everybody that did a comment. I appreciate your feedback, Shirley. It made the show, so thank you so much. My words of wisdom are: forgiveness is the best form of love. It takes a strong person to say I'm sorry and an even stronger person to forgive. Forgiveness also doesn't mean that you have to stay in a toxic situation. So join me next Monday right here on Intellectual Radio at 6 p.m. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell and the Biz. Warriors Talk is changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.